Hello students, welcome back in the second video of chapter 5 Judiciary. In this video we are going to learn about the structure of courts in India. There are three types of courts in India. One at district level, which are known as lower courts, trial court, district court. Then at state level we are having high courts, and at apex level we are having Supreme Court. Have a look at the image of Supreme Court. Let's know more about Supreme Court. It is also known as Apex Court. There is only one Supreme Court in country, which was established in 1950 at Delhi. It is highest constitutional court and has power of judicial review. Supreme Court is presided by Chief Justice of India. The total strength of judges is 34 now, including CJI, Chief Justice of India. Earlier, the number was 31. All the courts work under guidance and direction of Supreme Court. The jurisdictional powers of Supreme Court may be divided into three parts: original, appellate, and advisory. Original means the cases which come directly to Supreme Court. For example, the dispute between two states, state versus center, state versus union territory, etc. In appellate, those cases which have already heard in lower court or high court, and the person is not satisfied with the decision of those courts, then they move to Supreme Court. Advisory jurisdiction means Supreme Court provide advice to President, Prime Minister and Council of Ministers on certain issues. After Supreme Court in hierarchy, we are having high courts. There are 25 high courts in India. These are at state level. First high court was set up at Calcutta in 1862. At that time, there were three presidencies, that is Calcutta, Madras and Bombay. High Court performs many administrative functions. It also has the power of judicial review. Andhra Pradesh is newest High Court in India, which was set up in 2019. In Northeast India, there are only two High Courts shared by northeastern states. Haryana and Punjab share one High Court, which is located at Chandigarh. High Court supervises the subordinate courts. The jurisdictional powers of High Court may also be divided into three parts, that is original, appellate and supervisory. Supervisory means it supervises the work of subordinate courts. Appellate, the cases which have already heard in lower court and now they reach to High Court. Original, the cases which come directly to High Court, for example, divorce, election petition, etc. Let's try to understand appellate system in detail. In India, we have an integrated judicial system, means decisions made by high courts are binding on lower courts. A person can appeal to a high court if he or she believes that the judgment passed by lower court is not just. In India, both High Court and Supreme Court have appellate jurisdiction to hear matters which are brought in the form of appeal before them. They can either overrule the judgment of the lower court or uphold it. There are two branches of legal system in India, criminal and civil. Let's find out the difference between criminal law and civil law. Criminal law deals with the conduct or acts that the law defines as offenses. For example, theft, harassing a woman to bring more dowry, murder. Criminal cases begins with the lodging of an FIR with the police who investigate the crime, after which a case is filed in the court. If the person found guilty, the accused can be sent to jail and also fined. Civil law. It deals with any harm or injury to the rights of individuals. For example, disputes relating to sale of land, purchase of goods, rent matters, divorce cases. A petition has to be filed before the relevant court by the affected party only. In a rent matter, either the landlord or tenant can file a case. The court gives the specific relief asked for. For example, in a case between a landlord and a tenant, the court can order the flat to be vacated and pending rent to be paid. Now the question arises, does everyone have access to the courts? Technically, all citizens have access to the courts in country. It means all citizens has a right to justice through the courts, as courts play a significant role in protecting our fundamental rights. But in reality, access to courts has always been difficult for a vast majority of the poor in India because legal procedures involve a lot of money and paperwork as well as a lot of time. Illiteracy and poverty are two great hindrances. For a poor person who cannot read and whose family depends on a daily wage, the idea of going to court get justice often seems remote. In response to this, the Supreme Court in early 1980s devised a mechanism of public interest litigation or PIL to increase access to justice. It allowed any individual or organization to file a PIL in the High Court or Supreme Court on behalf of those whose rights were being violated. A letter or postcard addressed to Supreme Court or High Court could be treated as a public interest litigation. In early years, PIL was used to secure justice on a large number of issues such as rescuing bonded labor from inhuman work conditions and securing the release of prisoners in Bihar who had been kept in jail even after their punishment term was complete. The midday meal that children now receive in government and government-aided schools is because of PIL. Another issue that affects the common person's access to justice is the long number of years that courts take to hear a case. The phrase, justice delayed is justice denied, is often used to characterize this extended time period that courts take. In spite of all this, there is no denying that the judiciary has played a crucial role in democratic India. Independent judiciary is a key feature of our democracy. I hope you all enjoyed the chapter. Thank you.